Hello, boys and girls, my name is Hotsusi and welcome back to another day in Minecraft. And today we will put a good facade around this bamboo farm slash smelter array, which is somewhere below there and over there. We have just another one. We created this a few episodes back and I would say let's get right into it. Let's get the biggest elephant out of the room up front. What you're going to see is not just inspired by Joel, or SmallishBeans as he's also known, but basically borrows a lot of his Hermitcraft builds. My vision for the build style of this base was Asian, but more in a historical sense. I think the Asian theme still holds, but it became more modern, and then I brought in this whole idea of derelict buildings, and this does not really go together with the skyscrapers that we have on this side of the base. And I guess this here as well. What I'm really excited about is that this will bring in a splash of color into the mix. A lot of the builds so far are bichromatic, which means there is a main color and then a highlight color for contrast. And if you look at the single components of this facade, then this is still true, but by not having one huge build with that color scheme, they are a lot smaller and put together to form kind of a colorful mess. Some towns in Europe that grew in the medieval period have these wonderful columns of houses with a small front facing the road and then stretching way back. And in some cases the houses next to each other differ greatly in their coloring. My main go-to mental image of this is the town of Landshut in Bavaria, Germany. At this point I only have figured out how to cover up the sides but not the roofs. Joel solves this largely by making the buildings thinner towards the top, but I don't want to have a row of more skyscrapers here, so I have to figure out something else. As you can see, there is quite a large variety of material, but at this point I do have forms for most of it, so collecting it is kind of relaxing. The top end of Joel's either gets smaller or have a slanted roof. While I still took some elements of his to fill in the larger spaces, the main part of my roof designs mainly flowed from what is already there in the facades, bringing them up to a common level and then connecting them either with flat sections or angled roofs where this is feasible. From that perspective, this part was the more creative process than the facades, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. The facade for the furnace array was not the only thing I did. As you can see here in the foreground, we have a new building as promised last time for our factory, and then back here I also added two more buildings covering our iron farm down here and our cobblestone farm there, this time in white. We had the gray variant, then the red one, and here the white one. And I think maybe white is not the best choice of color because it's so bright and it's so contrasty with the green leaves. it works way better with red, which also has a high contrast, but it's darker. But yeah, these two projects done. So the storage is the only building that we still need to cover, and that's probably a project for next time. For now, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you once I have figured out what to do with the storage building. Until then, goodbye!